Good morning, Twin Cities, and welcome to New Spaces project here in Chanhassen. I want to invite you to the Layton House. Very special property, very special project that Ali and I worked on. What you're going to see is a Frank Lloyd inspired home and the different challenges that we were facing as we embarked on creating a new bathroom setting, a new office setting, and also creating better storage solutions for this family. I'm going to take you back over to the office area where we'll start. We will meet Ali, and Ali will talk through what we did in the Layton house. Come with me. We're now in Russell's office, and this is actually, Ali, one of the only rooms that has some straight angles. So this is where the majority of our work happened. Again, in the 1970's, home like this, where you have stone floors, walls, and everything is divided up in many, many triangular shapes. Design is not always easy. Tell us a little bit, Ali, on what all things did we touch here in Russell's office?
Absolutely. As Bjorn said, it was a little challenging with all the natural stone walls and the different angles. This room's a little more square. We originally had some cabinetry on this wall. It was shorter and it came to out about where it is now, but there wasn't enough storage for the homeowners to store clothing items, other different things that they need to put away that they're not always using. So we created a new whole storage built-in wall system, which you will see a lot in this type of period of home. And we brought it to the ceiling, utilized the height that we had, and really created that built-in furniture look. We were very meticulous about where we wanted the drawers and the doors placed. There was a lot of planning that went into that and how and what we were going to store in these cabinets. The details were really thought through as well, down to the cabinet hardware. You'll notice some of wood detail on the cabinet hardware, again tying into the period of the home with all the different natural materials that you see. There's another cabinet system over here that is completely new. It was another shorter kind of credenza desk area with some shelving above. And so this larger cabinet just allows more storage, more hanging, just more space in general for the homeowners.
The existing conditions with stone, and also as you see the soffits, part of our job here was to be as little invasive as possible. So we had the structures under which we had to operate. So the skill of our design team and Ali's leadership to make all of these things happen while still keeping the existing conditions intact and not growing the scope, which is a lot of times one of the bigger jobs that our design team has, is that how do we keep things contained?
So there was a lot of planning and details that went into designing the cabinetry around the existing stone steps and stone walls in general. We had to take into consideration that we can't modify the stone steps, and the clearance space, the height and the width determined why some cabinets are set back and why some are pulled forward. We also had to look at how the toe kicks of the cabinets were going to line up with the steps and how that would all function and look built in. We also had to be very detailed and surgically cut the stone on the walls to make the cabinets fit in and have a nice straight cut.
The details that go into not only our design team, but the actual execution on the job site sometimes escape the pretty pictures. And that's why what Ali described here is something that we take great pride in. So our stonemason, our cabinet makers, together with our design team, are able to make all parts and pieces fit.
In the bathroom, we took out the existing cabinetry and we have all new plumbing fixtures. Again, we had the triangular footprint to work with, and what was originally here was a medicine cabinet with 3 mirrors, and there was a kind of a soffit with a light fixture in it. So we took all that out, put in a really nice built-in oak cabinetry to stick with kind of the oak cabinets that you see throughout the rest of the house. And we did the oak vanity. It's in that triangular shape, again, to follow suit with a lot of the shapes you will see in the house. The homeowner and I worked together to find the custom handmade tile, and it's in a triangular shaped mosaic, and we hand selected the different colors to coordinate with how she wanted the space to feel. And so it's just really tying in all that geometry that you're seeing throughout the space. We had to, again, cut the stone walls and reposition some of the stones. So really trying to make that look like what it did originally was a challenge, but I think it turned out great. We had to do that for the floor as well. Another kind of tricky thing in here was the tub. There was an original clawfoot tub in here, and the homeowner still wanted a tub, but we had limited space. So we had to make sure we found a tub that had the right dimensions to fit within the space and not feel too tight. We did make another change to the structure of the ceiling, and I'll let Bjorn talk about that.
All right. So in this space, what does not immediately become obvious to the viewer is that you see we have skylights. So again, a very, very open bottom floor plan that also is helped by openings in the floor system to allow that skylight light to come down. We have one right here, right above the vanity, and we did have another area over there where we had an opening for a skylight to bring light down. Now, we framed that shut, and there's a utility that we were gunning for in order to do that. You see that a little square piece? This is actually a bath fan. So this bathroom was not vented. There was not a bath fan, no exhaust. So we used that framing of that floor system or ceiling system in there to place that actual bath fan. And by doing that, we introduced infrastructure into this, which otherwise would have been incredibly difficult to do given the block and stone construction. The other thing I would like to just say is that the matching and piecemealing together stone where we had to make some cuts, this has been an incredibly challenging task in this home. And I'm really proud of how we were able to patch floor wall system, and for people not living in the home, you cannot see where those patches were done. A normal human being that is not involved in the construction industry could not pick that out. Really proud of our team for that.
In this space, it's a smaller little pass-through room to the other different rooms, and we wanted to create a better storage system in here as well, because the house doesn't have a ton of storage, and so just adding more hanging, more drawer space, more cabinetry. So we had this half wall here, and it was actually mirrored on the other side. So we took that out, and when we framed the ceiling in the bathroom and closed that up, that's what is below here. So by taking that wall out, we created more space, and framing in that ceiling and floor here now, we created more space for a taller cabinet in the corner, utilized the space better, and it's more functional for the homeowner. These cabinets got taken to the ceiling again, and we incorporated the oak cabinetry as well that you still see throughout the rest of the house. One other kind of feature that we had to work around because of all the stone walls, we needed better lighting in this space. There is a skylight, but we needed a better light source. And so there's not a ton of ceiling space. So we installed a recessed light, but instead of cutting into the stone walls and trying to wire for a switch, we actually are using a Pico remote, and that way you can still have the recessed light, use the remote to turn that on, and then we didn't have to disrupt the stone walls by cutting in that switch. One of the main goals of this remodel was to add more storage and more of that built-in cabinetry, because in this prairie style period of home, you don't get the storage that you see in a lot of newer houses today. So that was one of the main goals, was to create better storage systems that are more functional for the homeowner, but also to maintain the period of the home and using the natural materials like the oak in the cabinetry to keep things consistent and to bring in, those natural materials that you will see within these type of period homes.
We're right now standing in the formal living room, hearth room area of this Frank Lloyd Wright home. And the backdrop, as you see, this is one of the incredible features of this home. The original owner of this home was actually the president and owner of a prominent glass company here in the Twin Cities. So it is logical that instead of walls with sticks and bricks, we have glass walls. Now, we were also invited to help take care of the repair and to correct some of the door and window installations. So we want to thank you. Ali and I had a lot of fun with this project. Our production team with Ed and Ross. This was the last project that Ross, our legendary lead carpenter, worked on. Ali and I want to thank you for spending time with us. This is one of our more unique projects in many different ways. And we invite you to come see any and all of our virtual happy hour home tours. Dial into newspaces.com, go to events, and you'll find the happy hour home tours for a variety of project types, a variety of style of homes, and a variety of different design aesthetics that you can enjoy from the comfort of your own couch. So thanks for spending time with New Spaces, and we'll see you next time.